Hello and welcome. I'm Tribeca99 and this is Shadowrun Returns. I'm going to be doing a full game walkthrough and playthrough on the hardest difficulty, very hard difficulty, and I'm also going to be doing what I would call a solo playthrough or an elite solo playthrough, where I'm going to do my best not to hire any runners at all throughout the game. I'm going to be running solo, basically. So that's just to increase the difficulty a little bit. On my first playthrough of this game, which I didn't record, I found I enjoyed the game very much, but it was not especially challenging. So to create some additional challenge, that's the approach that I want to take. I want to try doing this without any runners. Now we are going to have to take a runner on one mission where we need a decker. We're not going to take any decking skills ourselves. And even if we did decide to try and take decking skills and still be strong enough to handle the game solo, we still wouldn't be able to complete that mission without hiring a runner. Because the decker kind of has to work while there's enemies coming at you, and the decker can't fight the enemies because they're in the matrix, and so you're basically forced to take a runner on that mission. So on that particular mission I will take exactly one decker, and if I recall correctly, throughout the rest of the game the game will provide us with deckers. Of course, I say solo, but on missions where you're sort of forced to take runners, it will add particular individual NPCs to your team, and you can't remove them. We will be using those runners. So Coyote will be on a few missions, if you're familiar with the game, and a few other people. But we won't be hiring any additional runners, except for, as I say, that one decker that we're forced to hire. Now, it's very possible that on the last mission I will find it is in fact too difficult to complete the game, or even potentially the last couple of missions without hiring runners, but we are going to do our best to make this an entirely solo run, with the exception of the one decker that we have to hire. So we'll go ahead and start the game. Of course, I am playing the main game content. There's plenty of it's not really downloadable content because you don't have to pay for. There's plenty of player-created content for this game. This is what the Find More Stories button does, which I'll be checking out probably after I record this video. So obviously gender doesn't matter. I'm going to go with a female character because that's generally what I prefer to play in games like this. And here we really have the option between human and elf. We actually get one more karma if we take human, but you can export your characters, or really import the character from a save game in later games. So, you know, in some of that player-created content, and presumably in the DLC when the developers eventually release that. And based on the build we're going to take, the additional maximum quickness, because that's going to be our main stat, on the elf is going to be valuable. And we will use the +1 charisma that we get, so that's not wasted on us. I'll explain my build in just a minute. We're not going to use any of these pre-builds, just because they're not actually very efficient. They put points in places where we don't really need them. So we're going to go with none, and you know, we'll pick a character here. I'm going to go with one of these two. I don't know. We'll go with her. And now with our karma. One of our main stats, so because we're going solo, we're going to have to be really fairly focused on damage mitigation, because that's going to be one of the main things. All the enemies are going to be attacking us on many of the missions, because we won't have additional characters. So we have to be pretty careful there. And one of the best forms of damage mitigation in any game is usually your hit points. It's not really mitigation, but it of course means you can take more damage. And then we also of course have to be focused on our ability to output damage, which is of course going to allow us to take down enemies faster. So our main skills, we're going to be going essentially our character is a samurai, But we are going to put in a little bit of Conjuring in order to get to the Haste 3 spell, which is a very powerful spell. Although we won't be able to cast it as often as we would maybe like, it will be useful in many combats, although it may not. We won't be able to recast it in a combat probably if it runs out, because we're going to stack up with cyberware later, so our recharge times on, you know, the cooldown time on our spells is going to be incredibly long. So here we will go with 3 ranged combat as well, because we are going to go with rifles. Now, it was really a toss-up for me between rifles and shotguns. Shotguns do more damage, and we really do want our damage output to be very high, but I decided to go with rifle just because, again, we're going to be solo a lot of the time, and so we need to avoid taking damage, so we're going to want to try and keep our distance from enemies, and we're going to want to try and keep in cover. We're going to try and take a covered position and just sit there and kill whatever enemy is closest to us, to avoid taking damage. So, you know, as great as the shotgun is, it does require you to be a little closer. And of course, this is also the reason we're taking ranged weapons and not close combat weapons, because we don't want to have to be rushing out into the open in order to swing a sword or an axe at somebody. And of course, dodge is also very important. This is going to be a big part of our damage mitigation. Now, we're going to be a little vulnerable to magic because we won't be taking any willpower. So we will probably try and focus fire on mages when they show up. But most of the damage you take in this game is from ranged weapons, so dodge should really help us there. One final skill, you can see we only have 2 karma left. We've taken most of our skills. We're going to put some points in Biotech, and later we're going to be increasing intelligence in Biotech to get that higher, because our main source of healing, and as I've said, we're going to be taking all the damage ourselves, so we're going to have to heal a lot, and our main source of healing is going to be medkits. And Biotech just makes medkits more effective, so that's going to be very valuable for us as well. Now, we're not going to spend any points on it right now at character creation, but the other skills we will be spending on are Charisma and Conjuring. So basically, we're going to wait until, I believe it's the Haste 2 spell becomes available, as well as the spell Smoke, which we're going to use, you know, whenever we can. Again, our recharge times will be or cooldown times will be very long on those spells because we're going to have cyber, but they're going to allow us at key moments to gain a strategic advantage. Smoke reduces enemies' chance of hitting you by 15%, which is a pretty big number, and we're going to be focusing on having a high dodge stat throughout the game, so it should make us pretty hard to hit and mitigate most of the damage that we will take. And the haste spell adds action points, and again, because we're going to be more or less solo through much of the game, you know, we're going to need additional action points in order to do enough damage, get enough actions, be able to move around and shoot at people and that kind of thing, to be effective. So we are going to go ahead with we're going to cap out our Conjuring probably at level 4, which gives us the Haste 3 spell, which is, it costs 2 action points to cast and gives us an additional action point for 4 full turns. So that will last through a considerable portion of the early part of a combat, usually when you enter a room. And then if, you know, once we're finished with a combat, even if not everyone's, you know, if we clear a room, we can often just wait and sit there and let turns go by until we're ready to move, until that regens, and we can move on to the next room and take on the next group of enemies. So that's kind of how we're going to be trying to do this. But because Charisma, or rather Conjuring, is not going to be very useful for us really at all until we get it to level 3, and until that spell's available, we're going to wait till that spell's available, and then we're going to dump the necessary, I think it is 9 karma
to get ourselves up to Conjuring 3. And then again, when the next tier of spells becomes available, sorry, Haste 2, and then when the next set of, when we get to Haste 3, we'll be able to, we'll spend that 8 points to get ourselves to Conjuring 4. We also, and I haven't completely decided yet, we may at some point spend 6 points on spirit summoning. We'll make that decision a little later. And the point of doing that is not really to summon spirits, because they cost you an action point. It's to get this totem, which will give us an occasional heal. It will heal the last damage we took. And again, like, and that's, you know, all of our other healing basically is going to be coming from medkits, which are expendable. This will give us a non-expendable heal, which may become very important later in the game. So that's going to be our build, and here we are ready to start. And, oh right, we get to start with an etiquette. Generally, in the early part of the game, the etiquette that's going to be most valuable to us, I think, is security, because we're going to be dealing with the police a little bit. And then we're going to get one more. I don't think it makes a huge difference which one we pick for our second etiquette, but we can come to that decision when we get there. So, of course, I will be Tribeca 99, and here we go. So generally, you know, I'm not, unless I need to remember something, I'm not going to be reading the text that comes up throughout the game. If you want to follow the plot line of the game, you can play it yourself, which I assume you'll be doing if you're watching this video. This is really more about the combat strategy and build strategy of the game. So now our phone is going to ring, our mid phone. And it's our old friend Sam, except that he's dead. And now we remember the night some other runner died when we were with Sam. And yeah, we can talk to people. And we can talk to new Larry. And New Larry sold us out on the run, and now Renraku's coming. I think it's Renraku. Yeah. And here we go. So this is, you know, as it would ever be if you were playing on the highest difficulty. This is just going to be basically a normal playthrough, because of course we don't have any options to hire runners, and the first quite a few missions are going to be like that until we actually are allowed to hire runners. So here's Sam. We're going to want to take out the security and new Larry, obviously. He has a shotgun, and I think this is an assault rifle, yeah. Might be worth using the spray and pray, or actually the shotgun has range too. I'm gonna go ahead and get in cover against these guys though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the shotgun has higher chance to hit here, and it should hit. You know, it has a chance to hit both of these guys. We're gonna go ahead and try and tap them, and we're gonna miss. Now, we have an SMG, which is annoying because we specialized in rifle, but that's life. And we don't, of course, have the spray and pray ability, so we're just going to shoot at that guy. Now here we have a rifle. And we're already in cover, so we might as well take our aim shot plus a regular shot. Ouch, that was annoying. New Larry. Alright, try to kill them here. Gonna have a lower chance to hit New Larry, but he seems to be more dangerous, so I'm gonna try and focus fire on him for now. So far, so good. Now there's more of them coming. But we will continue trying to kill Larry for now. Certainly seem to be hitting a lot more often than our aim percent would indicate. We'll try and finish off this guy and then go take out those two. We're out of ammo, so we'll switch to our SMG. Don't need the spray and pray though. And we'll take our aim shot to try and finish him off, and we got him. Oh, and we have another shot. I'm gonna go ahead and heal because I'm fairly badly injured. Ouch. Oh, look, somebody's dying. Oh, just to be nice, I'll use the trauma kit. I don't really care about you, but... This provides full cover, huh? Tempting. I'm gonna go ahead and take the full cover option. Still need to reload our shotgun, which I don't want to take the time to do if I don't have to. Okay. Anyone got a med kit? Other than me? Just me. So I will go ahead and use my medkit. And now we're reduced to a pistol. So I'm going to take this heavy cover as well. We'll deal with shooting them again next turn. Oh god. Ouch. That's the problem with stacking up like that. Yeah, we probably don't want to use our pistol for the rest of the game, so we might as well reload. Someone have a better chance to hit here. We just want to get the hit on this guy. Finish him off. What happened? Why did it end the turn? Oh, it didn't end the turn. That was just weird. Okay. So now we're going to try and finish off this guy, and then we'll reposition to deal with those guys who are coming in. Ugh. obviously Sam here is going to need to reload soon. Yep. And what other spells do we have? We have haste 1, but that's not a huge bonus. In terms of AP, you actually don't net anything using that skill, so I don't know exactly why you'd bother with it. Okay, now we really need to kill this guy. Go ahead and bring everyone around to the other side of this thing. There we go, we got him. We just need to have cover with respect to these guys. Well, that was lucky. Unfortunately, I mean, we have pretty crappy chance to hit from here, but not really a lot of options. Okay, so we can heal again. Mage or shaman? We have no... yeah, we don't have enough strength for a grenade to really be useful. And that's going to be true throughout the game. I actually thought about building this character with some strength, but ultimately decided not to do it. There we go, we got him. Decided not to build with strength, because with the number of medkits we're going to have to carry, we're actually not necessarily... we're not really going to have the inventory slots that we want to spend on bringing grenades with us. And so in that case, strength becomes pretty useless if we can't carry grenades. We're probably, for the later missions, which are going to be the hardest ones... okay, well, he's down, but we should be able to kill this guy before that matters. For the later missions, which are the hardest ones, we're gonna need probably 4 medkits plus 2. Oh, I'm out of ammo. Plus 2 stims. That's what we're gonna be bringing in our inventory. It just doesn't leave any room for grenades. Maybe we could bring 1 grenade and drop to 3 medkits, but I just don't think that's particularly worth it. Oh shoot, I'm out of ammo again. I just don't think that's particularly worth it to spend the karma on. Alright. Should have this guy done this turn. There we go. Okay, so that is complete. And we're off to Seattle. Okay, I'll end this first video here, and
and we will start this next area in the coroner's office in Seattle with the next video. So thanks for watching. See you again soon.